Hi, it's Jetpack back again with another Tiny Homes Build in The Sims based on the nancydrew PC games by Her Interactive. Can't believe I did that in one breath. This time I spun the wheel and it landed on Phantom of Venice. The Sims surprisingly doesn't have a very Italian Venetian style world, and after looking through the worlds a lot, I landed on Windenburg. It's definitely not Italian, but it's European, which is as close as we're gonna get right now. Plus it has this canal, which is as close as I can get to the Venetian canals. So all my inspiration pictures had very tall houses that were close to one another. And for this tiny home, I imagine Marguerite has had to downsize, and this is the result. So because I only have 100 squares, I'm kind of limited as to what I could do, but I knew I wanted her to have a rooftop since she is absolutely obsessed with tanning. And then once I got my 100 squares, it felt wrong just to have a tall, narrow building freestanding by itself. So I built her a neighbor. And at first I gave the neighbor a patio too, but I feel like Marguerite would buy a house on purpose that was next to a house that was slightly not as good as hers. And in her eyes, the fact that the neighbors lack a rooftop area makes her feel better about herself and her situation. So I took it away. And also, Venetian homes have very bright, colorful schemes. The Venetian homes that I saw in my inspiration pics had bright colors, and some had some exposed brick. So I went with a combination of that for both of these. Also in the game and in the inspiration pics, there's a lot of courtyard areas, shared common outdoor spaces, like the shared entryway, so I wanted to add that here. Marguerite seems like a fountain girly, so I threw one of those in. And also a common theme in all of these courtyards was lots of lush gardens. So I added that all around the perimeter of this fenced in area. I loved the way this red tile popped. And it also ties into Marguerite's house's shutters, and it's a great contrast to the color of the neighbor's house. I had some trouble finding some flowers that seemed like they would be on brand for Italy. I think I ended up using a lot from the werewolf pack, which I have never done the gameplay for. I've heard it's fun, but I've never tried it. I also wanted to add cracks and stains and watermarks to the building, just to give it that old feel. It took me a while to get the windows right. I had Gooba help me pick out the perfect shade of shutters here. I think it turned out well. And lastly, I decorated Marguerite's rooftop area. I threw a couple loungers, a table for her beverage, a towel area, and some more flowers. I can't help but think of the flowers on the rooftop at the Ca' Nascosta. Something I learned while recording Venetian architecture is that the more decorated side of a home faces the canal, because the canal was the main transportation mode, so people would most likely see your home from that side. So I put flower boxes and balconies, not just because, you know, that's the side you would want to watch out over the water more, but historically that's the side that would be prettier. Something I've thought about for Phantom of Venice is Marguerite's so controlled by the historical society, I think, for her home, and like the renovations have to be accurate. She's got this whole thing about the tile she's been using. And what's interesting is I don't know how the bathrooms in Venetian homes are set up, but I find it odd that there's a bathroom off of Nancy and Helena's room. And it makes sense that if Marguerite were going to rent out rooms, she would have a bathroom off of that for the convenience of the guest. But I just don't know how historically correct that is. Also, I wish we could see more of the Ca' Nascosta. Nancy and Helena's room is gorgeous, but that area behind Colin being under renovation is heartbreaking, and we have been robbed. Because other than those two spaces, we see the area where Helena does her journalism, and the rooftop is stunning, and we have a bit of the courtyard, but I need more. I prefer the games that have one location that's really developed, really detailed, to the games where we can travel around town. I think it's super fun to be able to hop on a boat or a subway or get in your car and go to a different part of town during a mystery, but there is something so special about getting lost in a huge location in a Nancy Drew game. I like it when the days seem to blend together and you kind of lose track of how much time you're spending exploring a single location, which is one of the reasons I love Curse of Blackmoor Manor so much. It's a huge, stunning location with immaculate vibes, and I feel like if there's one location in this whole game that I would like to see more from, it would be Conescosta. It makes sense for this mystery to be going around town. It totally does. So I get why it was done this way, but I just want a little more. And that's my tiny home based on Nancy Drew, Phantom of Venice. What do you think? Could you see Marguerite living here? It's a little tiny, but I think it fits her. Check out my other tiny homes and other Nancy Drew Sims builds. Let me know what you hope lands on the wheel next. And next time we'll be decorating the interior of this build. Make sure to like and subscribe. Bye!